Okay. I'm not sure if there's some, well, it shows two maybe now, but anyway, Simplified Accounting with Cheryl. I'm just here that if anyone wants to pop in as the hour progresses, get any questions answered, go over the workbook, whatever you need, I'm here for this hour. And I hope that it helps you to have that scheduled time to get your accounting done. So let's knock out September over the next hour with the workbook. It should only take about 15 minutes, and I will be here to answer any questions. So I guess I can use this time while there isn't anyone here asking questions to go over the workbook within the call. So I will. Oh, hi, Kimmery. What is your question? Hi, and welcome. Glad you could make it. So the question that, Kimmery is giving us a little bit of background. She is saying that she has 3 different totals for shipping, and she has a question about shipping charges. So are you just strictly speaking about eBay? And when it comes to eBay, I will just go ahead and be a little preemptive. When it comes to eBay, you don't need to separate the shipping charges out. You only need to pull the entire eBay fees as one line item expense. So whatever, like the eBay fees will be netted of your returns, any labels, anything like that that comes through. So all of your promoted fees, all of your shipping fees, all of your store subscription. So she says, statement has 1 total and sales record has 2 others. And that is typical with eBay. I don't use the statement. I only use what is on the sales page under performance, because up until recently, the statement was not a calendar month. And as good as I am about auditing statements and figuring things out, eBay, bless their heart, is a bit convoluted, and it just wasn't worth my time to figure out why there were always discrepancies, because I don't have the insider information, and there was nobody that I could talk to give me insider information as far as their cutoff dates. They recently switched to calendar month statements, and I thought it was going to make it a little bit easier to figure out, but it has not been the case. So what I have done is I go by the performance. If you click on the performance tab and then you click on the sales and then you run it for your calendar month and you check those fees there, you grab that gross. You're going to use that gross throughout the year. End of the year, you'll ignore that gross and use what comes on your 1099. And then by the end of the year, last year, I went back through and I checked everything, and every month that I had entered my numbers for, nothing changed. So my total overall never changed from what I was entering into my spreadsheet. I have seen it change, like within the first couple of days after the new month. I have seen it change from the first day to, say, the third day, but it wasn't a significant change. So I tend to, I'll pull it each month, and then I'll verify at the end of the year and see if I need to make an adjustment. Does that help? Hi, Joanna. Welcome. Glad you're here. So I'm going to share this particular question into the feed. So Joanna says, when you are pulling costs from eBay store, does that include the subscription fee for your store, or do you have to pull that from somewhere else? So when you pull your eBay fees, when you look at your performance tab in the sales, the performance sales page, then the subscription fee is included in the fees that are shown. If you pull it by calendar month or you pull a longer period, I mean, obviously, if you're just looking at a day, it's not going to show it unless it's the day that it pulls it. So, but it is included in the fees. So when you go to your performance tab and then you go to sales, and and you'll pull by calendar month or by quarter, on the left-hand side, it says gross sales, and then it has taxes, which you can ignore. And then it has eBay fees, and then it has net. So the number that we are concerned with is gross temporarily until we get the 1099. And then the next number we are concerned with is the eBay fees. And that is what we will expense each month. The eBay fees includes everything that eBay charges us, including shipping, promotions, store subscription, all the stuff. And no, we do not have to separate that out for tax purposes. It is all cost of goods other, because this is how we sell our items to these customers, these clients. So it is all part of our cost of goods. So we just include it in the cost of goods other. That's the line item that we'll use. And it makes it easier, you know, just one number, no need to separate it, because it's all going into the same category anyway. Okay, well, while we're waiting to see if there are any more questions, I am going to present my screen, and I'm going to stick with just the expense tab, the mileage tab, and the totals tab. And see if I can. Yay. All right. I figured it out. So for those watching that don't have my spreadsheet, those watching that do have my spreadsheet, I am showing that so that if you have any questions while you're entering your items, then we can use it to help you get through it. So Joanna asks, how do you calculate mileage for garage sales from start to finish or each stop? If you are going, well, two things. It's all going to be round trip, right? So if you're going from stop to stop to stop, then what you're going to do is, and I'll just pull up the mileage tab. What you're going to do is say on the 10th, we went to, I live in Lesby. So we went to 5 yard sales in Lesby. And the total miles, round trip, running through the neighborhoods was 25 miles. And during that time, I left one neighborhood, stopped and got some gas, grabbed some more money for more yard sales, and grabbed a drink. I don't stop. I'm not stopping, right? And that mileage, even if it's personal, it's still part of my trip. It's just a stop. So you count the entire thing. So if that's what you're doing is you're just going out for a yard sale, then I would go ahead, and what I generally do is take a photo of my odometer when I start, and then I take a photo of my odometer when I get home, and then that way I can calculate the miles and put it in my spreadsheet. If I am running to thrift stores where I'm getting receipts, then I typically just do that once a month. I will take my receipt and I will say, okay, I went to the Goodwill that's in Columbia. That's 68 miles from here. So I did 68 miles there and 68 miles back for 136 miles. I'd put 136 miles in there. I'd put Goodwill Columbia, and I'd be done. Unless, of course, I had some other stops in there for other thrift stores, then I could say that I hit, XYZ 1 and Goodwill and Salvation Army and Goodwill 2 and this one, that one, the other one. And I could list them all out that I went there, but I would still put the total miles out and the total miles back. And just remember, if you are doing a yard sale, get some type of a little receipt book that you can put yard sale. You can put not exact address, but like city, town type thing. The number of items you purchased and the total amount that you spent. And I always keep my ATM receipts with these so that it shows how I spent that money when I have to take cash out for the business. So we'll just run back over here to the expenses tab, and we will talk about the different categories. So you can see that it's got a lot of different categories listed right here in the drop down. And again, the little arrow is right next to the box. So each little box has its own little drop down. And you want to pick the one that fits best to whatever your expense is. So for example, if you are out and you're getting inventory, then obviously that's going to be cost of goods inventory purchases. You'll put in your vendor. You'll put in the amount. And that's pretty self-explanatory. So you don't need the why or the what for that particular item. So maybe we go back and we pick, say we've got somebody giving us a hand. So we pick contract labor, and we're going to say the person that we got was Joe Smith. We paid him $50 to move some inventory from the house to storage. So the why or the what is going to help you and whomever is doing your taxes. And if that's you, or if you had somebody like me helping you walk through it, or you actually had a tax advisor and they come back and question this particular expense, then it helps jog your memory about what actually happened, and will help you to explain to them what you did so that they can confirm that you did use the right category, or say, okay, we actually need to move this to a different category. That would typically happen with something like office expense versus supplies. A lot of people use these two categories incorrectly. Office expense is things that you would truly be using in an office. For example, a coffee service that comes in and refills the coffee and the coffee pot and all the things for all of the employees in the office. Typically, most of us don't have that, although there could be some people that watch this at some point that do. But you would, generally speaking, you're not going to use the office supplies category. I mean, the office expense category. You're going to use the supplies category. That's going to be for pens, regular printer paper, right? You know, if things that a calendar, like a desk calendar, consumables that don't fit into your supplies to get your item from you to the customer. So labels that you put on your package, that's going to be part of your cost of goods. If you use a printer and you use a regular printer and you print your ink, use the ink to print labels through a regular printer, then you could possibly use the ink under the cost of goods other. For the most part, the amounts can move fluidly because they're not, it's not going to change. It's not like a percentage base by the category. So the amounts can move fluidly. The thing about it is we want to categorize things as correctly as possible, because if the IRS was to come and ask us a question and there was something that was not correctly categorized, then that may cause them to look a little deeper into what we're doing. And it's through no mischief, right? Nobody was trying to hide anything or take anything we weren't allowed to take, but we want to keep things as clean and cohesive across the board as possible. And if anyone has any questions while we're going through this, just please stop me. I'm happy to answer your questions. I'm just trying to give you guys some information while we're going through this. But my biggest thing is I want you to be able to use this time to have your bookkeeping done by the time the hour is over with. So Kimmery asks about, I'll post this particular question. Oh, Joanna, I missed yours. Sorry. If you are using lists perfectly, where does that fall into expenses? So if you are using lists perfectly, then that is part of your cost of goods, because you're using lists perfectly to spread your items across different platforms, right? So you're using that in order to make a sale. So it goes back into your cost of goods. Let me see Joanna says, if the post office lost the item, unable to make a claim, media mail, and you refunded the item, I assume that is an expense that I would put under returns and allowances. Exactly. I'm glad you brought that up. I actually had that question with a client the other day, and I was actually looking at it about the same time, because I had an item come back that was damaged. I looked through all of my photos. I was not able to see the damage in the original photo, but it wasn't new. I couldn't prove it. I couldn't withhold anything because, again, I couldn't prove that I didn't send it that way. So I had to eat the return shipping, and I had to eat the what I had to refund the customer on the item. So I did put both of those things into refunds and allowances. Let's see. To add to Kimmery's questions, any subscriptions? So, I guess the next part was about book scanning apps. So if you have a subscription that is not directly related to moving an item from you to the customer, then subscriptions would be a good place to put it. For example, A subscription to Excel could go in that category. A subscription, because most of us use our phones to take pictures, or many of us use our phones to take pictures. If you are an iPhone user, then maybe you need to upgrade your online storage so you can add that into the subscription field. So Joanna asks, if I buy people who work for me lunch or coffee, can I claim that? You can claim that. Like, say, an office party, or you're doing a working lunch or something like that. Yes, you can claim that. Where to claim that? That may be one I have to come back for, because I don't have enough screens to do my searching. Yeah, that's different though. So Joanna's saying sometimes that is what she pays the kids. They work for food, but that's not allowed. You can't. When I say that you can do that for people that work for you, I mean people that, I don't mean family. I don't mean immediate family, like your children. That's a totally different anyway, that's totally different. If I was your employee, or I was a contractor for you, and you bought me lunch or bought me coffee, then that's different. So there's different things, and I'm not going to get into it in this particular call. But there are different things that you can do with your kids, and there are great tax benefits with your kids working within a family business. I'll get the research done, and maybe do a separate video on, let me write that down. Tax benefits. I don't like this pencil. I was going to say I had 10 pens on my desk. Tax benefits for children in family business. And I will also get the question answered about how to categorize employee meals. And Joanna, if you have my Facebook Messenger or my email address, if you'll send me a message, I'll be sure that you personally get that answer as soon as I get it. But I don't want you to put your information in the chat that it will be public later. And it's public now. Okay, so wish there was a way you guys could beat me or something. But anyway, let's see. What's another category here? We've got continuing education. That's a good one. A lot of the people that are coming into this particular broadcast have probably found me or know me through the Reseller Nirvana group. And it's an amazing group. And we've been able to accomplish a lot within the group. It's grown by leaps and bounds. Tech and Sports and Chris Lynn from Daily Refinement are wonderful leaders, and I know that we all appreciate their guidance. So the fee that we pay to the group because of how much we learn, that is really continuing education. So in this particular spreadsheet, I have it broken out into other miscellaneous expense part 5, continuing education, because when it's miscellaneous, you actually have to say what it is on the tax form. So it just keeps everything coherent. But that is a great place to put that. Audible is another possible subscription service that you might use for continuing education. So if you use it for continuing education, you could put it there, or you could put it under subscription services. I mean, I guess technically you could put the Patreon under subscriptions as well. So either one would be adequate. It's going to be fine. It's not going to pull up a red flag just because we're breaking it out to be more specific about what the subscription is. Utilities. So in this workbook, we have a home office calculator. And in the home office calculator, what we do is this. Oh, here we go. So you can put your home office, your expenses for your home in here for the year. And then you put your square footage over here, and it will calculate what your business use of your home is. And it automatically calculates all your totals. So I recommend, because there's 2 ways to do your home office calculation at the end of the year or on your taxes. There's the short form, which only goes by square footage. And then there's the long form, which you actually put in all of this information. So because you don't know which way you're going to go, typically, until the time gets here, my recommendation is that you just put in your utilities throughout the year. You have everything in one place. And then when it comes time to do your taxes, and whoever is doing your taxes, whether it be you or someone else, then you're going to you'll have all the information together, because the long form you actually put in your total electric, your total water, your total gas, etc. So Joanna is asking about working from home part-time. So when you say that you rent a space, is it like a storage space? well, regardless, your home office is your home office, and rent for your space is rent for your space. So you can claim the rent for your space, but you wouldn't be claiming water, electric, other things like that for the as like a home office deduction, right? You would claim this sort of thing for your home office, and you would claim all of the expenses for your rental place. So if you have a storage unit, then you're going to claim the rent for the storage unit. If you have an office space, then there is if we have an office space and we store products or sales material within our home, we can claim both. If we don't store products or sales materials within our home, then despite the fact that we work there part-time, we cannot claim a home office deduction. But it specifically states that if we store product that we're selling and or sales materials within our home, then we can claim the space that those we can claim the home office deduction because of that, even if we have an actual office space. So that's the only time that you can get both. I'm actually finally getting a little bit chilly. So in Joanna, in your case, you would be taking your rent from your office space and whatever other bills you pay at your office space, plus your home office space. So Joanna asked specifically about my spreadsheet. When you sell on 2 platforms, does it combine the sales and fees to give you a total? So if you are using my workbook, then here's how, well, this was revenue too. I was using this as an example during a call the other day. So you put in your gross for each of your platforms. So say eBay is one, we'll say Poshmark, and then Mercari. How about Depop? I don't know. YouTube. What's one more? Oh, how about Marketplace? So it will currently take 6 streams of revenue. If anyone needs more, I'll build it for you. Just let me know. But you put in your gross totals for each one of the platforms separately, and then you put in your expenses for each one of the platforms separately. Now you don't have to separate your expenses by shipping and promoted and etc., right? You can just say eBay fees, Poshmark fees, Mercari fees, Depop fees, etc. Does that help? I'm used to having a little more interaction when we're in the calls within the group because I can see people's faces, I can see them nod. When they're showing their camera, people can actually come on and talk. So I may try and figure out a way to do this a little bit differently, because it's a little harder for me to do it with waiting for people to have to type things in. So I'm not sure what other methods. If anybody has any ideas, I'm open to suggestions. But I can't. Zoom is not conducive to this, so I will have to. Maybe I just have to deal with it for this call a month because of the main goal for this particular call is that you are actually doing your bookkeeping. So, oh, great, Kimberly. I'm glad that you're saving some questions for tomorrow. So, if anybody that is watching or in the future is watching and you want to ask more questions, you want a whole lot more accounting, then, join the Patreon group. And I will get with Chris and Tech and get a link so that I can just put it in the description below in case you find me that way and you want to come in. I do offer the group some benefits because we are family. So that being said, I do 2 accounting calls within the group a month. They usually run about 2 hours on the first and third Thursdays of the month. So this week, the first week of the month is when the first Wednesday falls before the day before the first Thursday. Next month, I don't think it does, but this month it's a little more difficult. I have got the 2 calls together, back to back, where I'm having to do so much talking, but it's not as bad as last month. Last month I did this live call and then ended the live call and went right straight to the accounting call, which was super, super rough. So I hope everybody that is watching is getting their accounting done. And I hope that those of you that are watching will join us in the call tomorrow in the group and let me know that you got your accounting done. So let me put in a couple more expenses over here so I can show you. Let's see. We're going to say returns and allowances from eBay, and it was $25. And then we'll just pick a couple other things. Let's see. Legal and professional services. We're going to say that was simplified. Well, we're just going to put it like this. Saw, which is me. Simplified accounting with Cheryl. And we're just going to put $75 consultation. And let's see what else. Where is... Here. Storage facility. So we're going to say... We'll just keep it as storage, and we're going to say it's $125 a month. And all of these should have dates in them. But my point in this is I wanted you to see that it shows up here $525 total expenses that are currently in here. Then over here, I'm going to put some mileage in right quick. And on the eBay, we're going to say that we had, I don't know, we're just going to put $5,000 in for gross sales. And in this blue box, in this box over here, where we right click and click refresh. And when we click refresh, it's going to bring all of that stuff in as totals. Oh boy, there's a mistake. I'm going to have to get that fixed. Well, that's not good. But I will get it fixed, and I will update. Name is not available. All right, well, I'm going to have to come back and fix that after the call. And I do apologize to everyone that has it. So this green box down here, and this is what I was trying to show you, is that it pulls all of this expense should have updated to 525. It pulls in your gross total. It pulls in your expenses. It pulls in your mileage, and it subtracts those things out to give you your net so that you can constantly see where you are when you've done your bookkeeping. Know that as soon as this call is over with, I'm going to fix that, and there will be an update available on the download site. In fact, maybe the download site is correct and the one that I'm using is not. But I will double check that, and I will send an email out. Very disappointed that there's a mistake. So I sincerely apologize, and I will get that fixed as quickly as possible. And everyone that has purchased it will get a message saying that it has been fixed. So we have a little under 9 minutes left in the call. Do we have any other questions for today? Is anyone struggling to get something entered into their spreadsheet or whatever method that you're using? Because it's not, you don't have to be here just because you're using the workbook. If you have questions, I may not be able to help you specifically with what you're using, but if you have a general bookkeeping question, then I should be able to answer that for you or get an answer for you. You're welcome, Kimmery. Thank you for coming, and I'll see you in the call tomorrow. I know I've had a few people reach out to me through Messenger or email during the call, and I will get to your messages as soon as possible. Hi, Angie. The call tomorrow in the group is 1 p.m. Eastern time, which is 10 Pacific. And it's in the 24-hour room. Yes, they are recorded. If you go to the Patreon, then each person that has a call has their own section. So I have the accounting section, and all of my calls have been recorded and are listed in there, with the exception of anything I've done on YouTube. So yeah, you can go in there and find them in that section. It is there's a link if you're in the Facebook group. There's a link in the pinned comment. Within the comments, there's a link. Or if you just go to Patreon, then you can find it through there as well. But all of the scheduled calls in the group are recorded. Well, it's great to have you, Angie. I look forward to interacting with you more. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I do answer generic questions. Like if you send me an email or a message, short things, I will answer them. Anything that gets a little bit deeper or is more specific to your taxes and your bookkeeping and kind of getting in depth into those things, then I suggest probably a consultation call can be better. But for the most part, if you've got a quick question or you're not sure about a category or things like that, I'm usually pretty quick to be able to answer them and get you the answer so that you can move on. All right. Well, if there aren't any more questions, oh, okay, Angie. Well, I'm happy to help. Just shoot me a message. You can also find all of my contact information in the description below or somewhere on my YouTube channel here, and just send me an email, hit me up on Facebook, whichever. Those are the two easiest ways to get a hold of me, and then we can go from there. I'll be happy to help. East Coast Poker, tomorrow's call within the group is 1 o'clock. Is there something in particular I can help you with now? Okay. All right. Well, tomorrow in the group in the 24-hour room, I will see you guys at 1 Eastern, and I look forward to it. I look forward to seeing you guys in the group, and hope everyone has a great day. I hope this was helpful. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it.